Welcome back, everyone. Access to lands in Utah, who controls it? The federal government, the state. Is there enough access for everyone to federal-controlled lands in Utah?
Well, that's a tough question to answer. I don't know that there is, in the sense that it's constantly a shifting situation. We never know whether a BLM plan that's been adopted will last or not from one moment to the next. And so whether you have access or not is never clear. It needs to stay. It needs to be decided and then stay put.
And you think the state would do a better job of that?
I think the state could make a better decision.
Yeah. Pat, you were mentioning that it's only 5% of the federal-controlled land in Utah that is wilderness or does not have motorized access, wilderness study area perhaps. Is there enough for everyone?
Well, certainly if you look at the use of that, there's more than enough because the use is relatively small. Now, would somebody like to drive their ATV anywhere they wanted to? Absolutely. Would that do destruction? I think even some of the ATVers would agree that unrestricted access would be unwanted. What I've been saying since I left the federal government is we need to work together to come up with some sensible plans. We've been trying to do that on this RS 2477 debate and have had some success. We certainly haven't finalized it yet, but the reason I kept coming on these kind of programs is to try to suggest that there isn't all rhetoric. It needs to be balanced, and to balance you have to do hard work.
Well,
you
Randy,
really have to roll your sleeves up.
I saw you nodding your head a second ago too, as if in agreement that
sure. There are places that we all agree are beautiful and need to be kept and managed as wilderness and pristine. We would absolutely agree. Where the frustration and the disagreement is roads that have been in place, and Pat referenced this with 2477 roads. We've been fighting for 30 years on some of these roads, in court, out of court, negotiating, not negotiating, and it's getting to be beyond a joke. These are roads that go back to pioneer settlement. That was what the definition of RF 2477 was, and we run into battles with the environmental groups and the bureaucrats, and we can't get them given to the state and to the counties where they belong.
Well, we all seem to be in agreement that there would be certain areas that should be protected and should be off limits, right?
But see, the biggest thing to me, Terry, is to find a way of supporting Utah's agricultural community to be as productive and inclusive as possible. And when we get diverted off on these side issues of recreational use, I think we're missing the dollar to pick up a few dimes and cents.
Well, I think we've all said it here that perhaps there needs to be more discussion between all groups so that local concerns are considered and the concerns that the federal government has in protecting.
Terry, access is recreation, but it's also agriculture. If they can't get in there to develop water, salt, feed, and move their livestock in and out by transportation, the same roads as the recreators do, we can't feed and clothe America.
Access is also oil and gas operations. It's wind things, wind towers, it's solar panels, it's energy we need. All of that has to have ability to be happen on the federal lands.
And it's something that we need our grandchildren and great-grandchildren to be able to look at and say, they did a good job of preserving our legacy.
And it may be something that our grandchildren and great-grandchildren are still arguing about in another
They will.
50 years. Gentlemen, thank you very much for participating today. It's been very informative. And thank you for joining us today in this broadcast. We'll continue this panel discussion on our website, thecountyseat.tv. For The County Seat, I'm Terry Wood.